everyone, I'm the Wind. I've just blown in. And today we are back with more Seduce Me 2, The Demon Wars. Last time we started another attempt at Sam's route. We decided we want a small wedding and we've had the sexy sex. Yay! Oh yeah, and then I got kidnapped and I ended up in the demon world. Who would have ever known? I say as we're on run number what of ending up in the demon world thanks to my father-in-law. Anyway, if this is your first time watching one of these videos, hello, welcome to my channel. New videos every Thursday. As of this recording and publish date. Might change in the future, I don't know. But for right now, as June 2020, Sorry about that. That took me too long to figure out what month are we in. Gosh darn it, COVID. I miss going outside. I miss people. And I'm someone that does not people well. Anyway, like I was saying, if this is your first time watching the videos, hello, welcome to my channel. If you want to see all of this from the start, go back to the beginning of Sam's route and watch the first video up till here, because I will be using the skip button if this is content I've already covered. Mostly because my recording time this summer is going to be incredibly limited, and two, I don't know if I can cover the same content and not just end up telling the same joke over again, or come up with something interesting to say, as I will probably be running this like 4 or 5 times, you know? And with that said, we are in the Ambassador Suite all by myself. What am I ever gonna do? In my wedding dress. And yes, let us dive back in, shall we? Eventually I did rise from my sleep, somehow fully refreshed and calm. How could that have been? You were dead tired and traumatized? Also, the skip button's returned, so we're going to use that, Explorer. Skip button, shall we? Yes. Oh, and Diana came to see me.
Did you have a good rest?
I don't know, did I? I mean, can I really have a good rest about my hot incubi boy here? Yeah, I think I had a good rest. Yeah, sure.
Good. A good rest is always important, especially to humans.
Aw, thank you. Aren't you being sweet? And skip button time, because I'm sure she's not gonna say anything important. Other than, you know, I should stay in my room because not all the guards know who I am, and they might kill me on sight because, you know, they're in the middle of a war. But, I mean, as long as I stay in the castle, how much trouble can I get into? Really? So let us explore, shall we? Even though we were told we should probably stay in our rooms, but definitely stay in the castle. Yay, time to ignore orders and go roaming. I'ma go left, because I am left-handed. And we've seen what happens. And you know, I'm gonna go left again. Because why not? Also, it'll make it easier to go back. All I have to do is take right-hand turns. And they're fighting, and they make out, and then, you know, I should probably not be a voyeur, even though I am recording a Let's Play, which means other people are watching me play this, and let's not get into the meta of that, I just realized. And I should probably take a breath here. I sound like I'm rushing through everything. You know what? I'm sure this is perfectly fine stew. I don't want it. I'm just gonna say no until I know what the mystery meat in this is. Because I might be allergic to it. You don't know. No. Just, no. That don't look good. Yeah. Actually, out of character, that looks delicious. I would totally eat it. They try, they fail, the boys fall through, the boys' wives fall through, fighty, fighty, fight, fight. And Sam is being a dick to Diana. So you know what, I'm gonna stop my fiance from being a jerk, because as his future wife, that's kind of what I do. I had to stop this from becoming worse. Oh, God, I'm gonna say that a lot in our future together, aren't we? I stepped forward, not entirely getting between the two fighters, and shouted to get both of their attentions. Stop it! Sam looked at me, suddenly obeying my voice as it rang out through the room. Yay, I've toast-trained him finally. The guard, however, leaned back for a second attack, uncaring of my command. Diana, call off your pit bull. Before the guard could follow through with his attack, a large snap echoed through the air, forcing everyone in the room, including me and Sam, to look over and see Diana glaring at her guard. And he don't look happy about that snap. Oh, snap.
Enough!
Agreed! Diana slowly straightened and pointed at the space beside her, ushering the guard to quickly run over to where she had indicated and turn back to face the rest of us. Hi. Sam looked to me with eyes full of bloodlust, begging me silently to continue the fight. I glared back, trying to break through his rage to get him to calm down. Why do I have a feeling this is our future? He relented and gritted his teeth before nodding and looking over to Diana and her guard.
I'll forgive you for now, brute.
I'm pretty sure your guy also had a hand in this.
Forgive me! What makes you think that the one who needs forgiving is me?
Well, you're kind of gate-crashing in her house, and you're being rude. That's what I think anyway. And let's skip over this confrontation, because we've already seen it play out in the first run. You know what? I've missed you. I've missed you dearly? Question mark? Well, in character, I'm sure I've missed him deeply, so let's have a little kissy time. I gently moved my head and kissed over his cheek and neck, wanting to show him my affection and relief that he was in my arms again. Sam shuddered slightly at the touch of my lips and planted his own loving kiss on my neck. Aw, PDA time, everybody! I fought back a moan at the rush of pleasure I felt from his lips touching my skin, managing to hide it. Are you two calm now? You good? Great, let's talk about what we're gonna do next, shall we? And it's time to discuss the war in our plans. Do we kill one person and act a curse, or do we spend more time and energy and, not kill someone and use a trap? This time around I'm gonna say trap. Because, obviously, let us not sink to the Demon Lord's level and kill people. We are the good guys here, right? And fighty fight time. Well, it's not fighty fight, but what are we going to do? Because you know what? I am the main character. I have main character powers. We can fight too. Although, wives, I'm dragging you into this whether you want to be in the war or not. Sorry. Not sorry. Yep. We have opinions.
Hey, you sure you're all right?
And now, as we walk back to our room, this conversation happens. I stared at him a bit longer before replying. I mean, he is attractive until he opens his mouth. You know what? No, I'm not okay. I'm super not okay. I wasn't all right. I say every day. All of this was a muddled mess, and I couldn't help but worry. It had to have been obvious anyway for Sam to notice and ask. It's not like he's a police officer and she'll be trained to, notice when people have signs or tells. Sam frowned a bit and released my hand to wrap his arm around my shoulders.
We'll get back.
We'd better. We have a wedding, gosh darn it. Will we? Will we? I couldn't deny the doubt that entered my mind and influenced my response, but Sam gave me a small shake, nodding.
We will.
Aww. Look at you being supportive. I eventually let out a sigh and nodded as well. He was right. I needed to shake this feeling out of my mind. Sam and I were guided through the hallways until we finally reached our room, which happened to be the ambassador room I had slept in before. It was good to know that I was going to a place I recognized. Also, the skip buttons returned, more importantly. Yay! Skip it, skip it. And, we have a lot of energy and nervousness, and I don't really feel like going to sleep, and neither does he, because we're both night owls in this verse. So you know what, dude? Help me stay awake. If I wanted to stay awake longer, then Sam needed to help me do that. Gee, however shall we spend the time in our big luxurious room? Sam looked down at me and turned our bodies gently to face one another.
What do you want me to do?
Aw, he's so good at following orders. Anything? Oh, dude, you should not say that to me. You will have purple hair tomorrow. I didn't want our reunion to end the day with us going to bed. A kiss, a hug, a conversation. Anything was acceptable, as long as I got to be awake that much longer. Sam gently lifted my chin and lowered his head to kiss me, allowing me the choice to take his lips with mine by stopping a mere centimeter away. I took it and melted into the kiss, wrapping my arms around him. My head and heart became full of Sam. Feeling his heartbeat against my chest, tasting his lips against my own. Memories flooded back of us, holding one another, and I began to mentally thank God for letting us be together again. Yeah, I don't think God has anything to do with this. Sam wrapped his arms around my waist, pulling me close, but not taking us any further. The kiss was slow, intimate, and romantic in every form. That was yet another thing I loved about Sam. He knew when to take things slow with me, and knew when not to get deeper than that. He respected me, loved me, and wanted to protect me with his entire being, even though he calls me Doofus regularly. I was blessed to have him as mine, and mine alone. As we pulled away at last, Sam let a smug grin paint his face.
Well, I guess one good thing came out of this. I get to kick my old man's ass.
Wow, we go from making out to you talking about that. Really. Awesome. And skips time, and bad dream, and nightmare, and wake up from nightmare, and, kiss him again. 'Cause, I need comfort. I pulled back a bit and kissed Sam once again, smiling happily and running my fingers along his back. Sam gently squeezed me and kissed me back, melting into the embrace between us. Morning kisses with Sam felt wonderful, and I didn't want to get up or pull away. I simply desired to relish in the feelings I had for Sam and let him completely take over my thoughts.
Hey,
Yes? Yeah?
since we're in the demon world, do you think that maybe...
Maybe what? Maybe go shopping? Maybe go on a tour of what was your kingdom? What? I opened my eyes to look over his shoulder, trying to understand what he was insinuating. When it finally came to me, I held my breath in realization. The demon marriage?
You don't have to decide right now, but before we go back, maybe think about it?
Done. I don't have to think about it. We would do this, because it's what he needs. I wasn't sure what to say. My mind danced across the idea of binding my soul to Sam. But at what cost? I'll be fine. He's a guy. He's my guy. I'll think about it. Sam nodded in understanding, kissing my shoulder. I knew it was something Sam really wanted, but was it something I was willing to go through? Yes. Yes, you are. I will make you. Sam gently loosened his embrace and pulled away to look at me with a tired smile.
I don't want to get up yet.
Agreed. Back to sleep we go. And the skip buttons are turned. Yay! Cover the content. And the guys come in, it's breakfast time, but we want sleepy, but they want to talk. So fine, you know what, let's tell them. I sighed. They had to know what was going on. Well, I just heard this voice in my head. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm hearing voices now. Good times. Yeah, yay.
Huh?
A voice in your head? But I didn't hear any other voice but yours.
I know, right? It's weird.
Did it sound like anyone you know?
I shook my head, remembering the sound of it. It was deep and echoey, masking any relatable trace from it. For all I knew, it was some sort of illusionary creation of my own mind. Then again, if I created it, then Damien would have been able to hear it. Well, I mean, we don't know how Damien's powers work against the insane. I sighed and rubbed my head. It was some sort of deep voice, telling me to be patient and not to be afraid. It wouldn't tell me its name. I became worried about everyone thinking I was crazy. Really? They're incubi and we're in a demon world. How is you hearing a voice gonna make you crazy? I knew I wasn't, but I definitely sounded like someone who wasn't mentally there. Sam, however, wrapped an arm around me and hugged me to his side.
Well, whoever that voice is, it's right. There's nothing to be afraid of.
Except for fear itself.
I wouldn't be too sure about that just yet.
Hi, Diana. And skip button. Because I need to train. Because I have to be in that room when the Demon Lord dies, or else my curse doesn't break. Yay! My day just keeps getting better. So, who should I train with? You know what? I don't need a trainer. I'm like awesome and a main character, and I have the power of save state, okay? I don't need no man. But they're gonna try to convince me otherwise. I go outside, I train by myself. I meet this lovely lady who is so awesome.
Human, if you want, I can help you train.
Aw.
I'm sure that I can get you battle ready in no time.
I like Mirth. It's a little sad that we don't get to see her in other routes besides Sam's. Do I accept the pretty blonde girl's offer? You know what? No, I started this journey alone. I need to finish this alone. Or do I? I mean, there's only so far you can go by yourself, and... Yeah, you can train me, Mary. Seem awesome. Because she has trained me before, and I think she does a good job. And we're fighting, and I have a vision of not Demon Lord. Sorry, I have run so many of these paths, I am forgetting what happens on each character's path. My apologies. So, we go to sleep, I wake up, Diana and Sarah are doing things to my fiancé that I really don't like, but I'm being held and I can't act. However, Sam sees right through Diana's bullshit, and they're fighting. Yay. You know what? I'm gonna wait and watch. Diana, you got popcorn? I got $5 on my Guyver card. Go get him, sweetie. I still wasn't understanding. Why was I not getting any answer? I turned my gaze to the fight, desperate to try and see what Diana wanted me to witness.
Are you that weak, Incubus? You haven't landed a blow on me once!
Kick his ass, sweetie. And they fight, and it's over. And apparently that voice I've been hearing is a dragon! Yay! And the dragon thinks he's gonna offer us some power if we prove ourselves worthy, and yay! And Diana and Sarah thought this was a worthwhile thing to help with his testing us. Yay! So...
I said I don't know!
Cool. Okay, what's our choice here? You know what? I'm just gonna wait patiently, and you'll talk when you're ready to talk, okay? I knew Sam well enough not to pester him, and to let him settle down. As he stared, he reached a hand up and gently ruffled my hair. Exactly. Sometimes you do need to give people space to work through whatever it is they're working on.
Sorry you had to see that.
Yeah, I'm sorry too. But seriously, Diana, what the fuck? Not the way I wanted to have my first foursome. I shook my head and held his hand, kissing his palm. As I did, Sam chuckled and stood, ushering me to stand along with him. Sam gently took my hand and walked to lead me out of the room. And the skip buttons returned. Yay!
She's merely following instructions.
Hi, dragon.
No harm will come to him.
But... Marijuana. This morning was freaking weird. I will be patient, even though it's not really what I want to do. This was another test, another trial Sam had to go through. What kind of elaborate scheme was this? I looked at Diana, however. I could tell that she didn't want to do whatever the voice had instructed. Her lips curved in an almost disgusting grimace as she looked down at Sam. And here we... Oh, okay. Last time was just the guard attacking. This is the Diana being wildly inappropriate with my guy. Yeah. Let's just get this over with. And what? Let's tell him the truth about what's going on. And hopefully he won't kill the queen in her own castle. Because, I don't want to rule the demon world. Sam was completely right to be angry. He had every right to want her to stay away from him. However, he also deserved to know the truth of why they did what they did. Sam, they had to. Sam looked at me with a confused look mixed with anger, still emanating from his rage at Diana, no doubt. Yeah, understandable. I would be pissed. I gripped Sam's shoulders and forced him to fully face me. There's this voice that keeps saying, "You're being tested." It said that Diana and Sarah were following its orders and testing you. I knew I was making little to no sense. I don't know. They know about the voice right now. So it actually makes a lot more sense than you might initially think. But it was the truth of the matter. Sam had to believe me. Well, I mean, he doesn't have to do anything. His eyes continued to flood with confusion, making me worried.
She is telling the truth.
I know, right?
I didn't ask you, bitch!
Exactly. Stay out of it, Dad, huh?
She doesn't need your permission to speak, mutt.
Sarah, shut up. And skip Hunt's return, because I want to get out of this situation.
I'm sorry. Diana was pretending to be you, and I just...
Yeah, understandably you lost your shit. And I don't blame you given our history with her. This test sucks. You know what? It's okay. I actually understand this time your act of violence. Sam was distraught, and I needed to ease his worries. I understood him perfectly, which is why we're together in this verse. I hugged Sam to me and kissed his cheek as he trembled in my arms. He wrapped his arms back around me and simply let silence pass between us.
What the fuck is going on?
We're being tested, and it sucks. I didn't know what to say, so I simply held him until it was time to train. Yay! More hitting things with a sword! Yay! I like Mirth. Let us hang out with her. And we voyeurism on the couples, and it's test time.
You alright?
Am I alright? Am I? Yeah, I'm fine. This is fine. This is fine. We're okay. I was nervous. There was no way I could have been all right. Yet, deep in my gut, I knew that everything was going to be okay. I had to be confident in my skills, that I was ready for whatever this thing threw my way. Yeah, Sam had his exams, now it's my turn, and I don't feel like I studied enough. I nodded to Sam, seeing him smile a bit. I gave him a little smug smile and flexed my arm. I'll be okay. Let me at it. I'm good at tests, right? I used to be smart. Sam laughed, now relaxed, and gently nudged me.
Good. Now kick the test's ass, whatever it is.
Woo! We got this. I nodded softly. I had to breathe. Everything would be okay. I mean, will it? And before he goes... You know what, I'm gonna stop him. I don't want him to change. This is how he looks. Sam was comfortable in that form. If he was exhausted, then he didn't have to use more energy to glamour himself. I held out my hand and walked over, placing it on his chest and stopping him.
Huh?
Don't worry about it. You don't have to. You look pretty. Sam stared for the longest time before smiling and nodding. I was happy to know that he was considerate enough to consider my feelings. But if he was happy in his true form, then I didn't mind sleeping beside it. Yeah, it's almost like we should be doing this in the real world, too. As I looked at him, though, a dangerous curiosity crept over me. Oh? Go on. I had never really thought of making love to him in this form. Really? Wow, how vanilla am I? In his human form, absolutely. But not with him as the demon he truly was. Would it be different than what I expected? Would it be exactly as I imagined it? Ah, but you have at least imagined it, even if you haven't done it yet. Haha. I bit my lower lip, letting the curiosity fester in my mind a bit.
Huh? What's with the look?
What look? Bats eyelashes innocently. I didn't notice the expression on my face was making as I stared at Sam's body, causing me to jerk my gaze up into Sam's eyes and shake my head. Huh? Nothing? Nothing?
Nothing, huh?
Well, I mean... Sam slowly began to stalk towards me, forcing me to step back and eventually lean against the wall, with him placing his arms on either side of my head. I was trapped and could only stare up at my captor.
I think you're staring at me and thinking bad things.
Well, I mean... maybe. Do you have handcuffs? I mean, he is a police officer. I let my heart rush into my throat and silence me as I gazed into Sam's emerald eyes, which oh so slightly dilated in a small form of lust. Now I'd done it. Sam chuckled and leaned in close, touching his nose to mine.
So, you gonna tell me the truth?
Am I? Take initiative. What do I roll? Is it a d20? Is it based off my speed? What am I talking here? Is it a d6 roll? Oh, hello, sexy music. Welcome back. Sam thought he had the upper hand. However, I knew how to make him go crazy. Yeah, vice versa, though. I leaned forward and locked lips with him, making him gasp against my mouth. I slyly wrapped my arms around his neck and pulled him close, letting him know that he was right and that he had better make good on my thoughts. Exactly. Sam pushed forward, grinning softly and pinning me to the wall of his body. I felt my hands roam his skin. It was so strange. There was no difference in texture of Sam's green marks from his skin, almost as if the marks were part of his physical nude appearance. Because they are? Question mark? Still, I could feel the power Sam carried just from touch and passion alone. Sam was definitely strong, and he only reaffirmed my mental assessment as he gripped onto my hips and lifted me up higher on the wall and made me wrap my legs around him. Unconsciously, I gripped onto his horns, causing him to growl almost animalistically against my lips and make me gasp at the sound. I stared wide at Sam, seeing his eyes glow slightly. Did I hurt you?
No.
Oh, cool. I'll go back to pulling your horns then. I became lost in his eyes as he began to deeply enthrall me. The small ring of green around his lustful, blown pupils glowed gold as the spell took hold. I released a heavy moan before gripping his horns hard and pulling him back to me for a kiss. His kisses became eager and wild, like grabbing hold of his horns was a turn-on for him. Was it? Yeah, I'm gonna say so, yeah. Sam zipped us back to the bed with his inhuman speed and settled himself between me and his lap and him sitting back against the bedpost. His hands began to wander along my body, trying to control themselves from simply tearing through the fabric dividing us. No, you've already ruined one set of lingerie, sir. You are not ruining those clothes. In my own desire and need, I quickly forced myself away from Sam's lips and touched my nose to his, staring deep into his eyes as I began to undo every bit of clothing and strip them off of me, before tossing them who knew where. Yeah, priorities right now. Thankfully, he was already bare for me, so that was one less outfit in our way. See, there's priorities and benefits to this form. As I finally became fully bare above him, Sam wrapped his hands around my waist and adjusted himself to kneel on his knees. Me straddled over him. We didn't even need to play to know that this was going to be a rough ride. Aww, he's so cute. I settled my hands back on Sam's horns, my lustful eyes burning to his as he guided me and smirked a toothy grin at me.
You better hang on.
You don't have to tell me twice. As my entire body became a rush of ecstasy, I couldn't stop the loud and wild moan from escaping my body, or from my eyes rolling back in wild euphoria. My world rocked with the waves and pulses of pleasure and desire. The room around us, the smell of sweat in the air, it all became irrelevant as I made hard love to the man beneath me, clinging to his horns like handlebars. The harder we went, the louder we became. My vision was blurred in pure ecstasy, and I could feel nothing but the pleasure rushing through me and Sam's horns within my grasp. Soon, the entire room almost quaked at the sound of our passion. As we peaked, we released a simultaneous scream and howl of carnal euphoria, before wrapping our arms around each other and panting wildly. The sweat between us tingled in the heat of the air, making us shiver in each other's arms. I was in utter bliss as Sam soothed me and held me close as he very slowly tucked us beneath the bed sheets and held me close to him, allowing me to recover from the experience. Fucking demon style was definitely a new experience. Amen. I cuddled into Sam's embrace, nuzzling his chest and almost purring happily at the warmth that emanated from it. Sam kissed my head and chuckled.
You alright?
Yes, I think I'm alright. I could only nod before feeling myself pass out. Sam followed soon after, both of us becoming lost in the dark void of slumber. I had to be ready for the trial. I half expected to wake up to Diana to be in disguise as Sam as the morning came. Yeah, but where'd be the fun in that? However, I am going to get the video here because I don't think there's that much left in the path, and I'd rather not have the video go too long. So, until next, tackle, hello.